Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video it's a how-to video, and what we're going to be doing is installing a fridge ventilation fan kit for the Dometic fridge that we have in our Caravan. Last year we went to Holland and the fridge started to play up because it was just too hot and it wasn't cooling down enough. So we're going to remedy that with this kit. Also, we're going to Spain this year as well, so we definitely need it doing. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll show you what I've bought and also some tools to install it. So let's have a look at that now. Now, there are plenty of fan kits on the market, some that attach to the grills and some that actually fit to the fridge itself. This is a fridge mounted one, and this is an original by Dometic. I decided to go for this rather than the fridge vent one, purely because I was concerned that when I was cleaning the Caravan I would damage the electrical components inside the fans because they aren't waterproof, whereas with this is attached inside to the back of the fridge and it'll do its job. I'll get it out of the box and I'll show you what we've got. Okay, so first of all you get the instructions and it lists all the fridges that Dometic make that this kit will fit, and there's a couple of ways of actually wiring it. We're going to be doing the top one here, and we're going to have add an inline fuse, which I'll show you in a moment. Also, there's different locations as well depending on which wiring setup that you use in relation to the actual fitting of the fan itself. Now we're going for this one here, and I'm thinking it may be that position there. I doubt it was getting it to fit down there because it's pretty tight inside. I've already had a look, but I'm hoping to fit it there, but we'll wait and see for that. Let's have a look at what the kit has inside. Okay, so this is the kit itself. We've got the fan itself and the positive and negative cables. Doesn't look much wire there, so we may have to extend it. And the spade connector here is attached to the positive cable, which will eventually connect to this item, which is the thermal switch. We have the base plate and screws, so we can screw this together. I'm thinking they might be a little bit too long, to be honest, but we'll see. Next to that we have the wire that goes from the thermal switch to the 12 volt power supply. Now if you're lucky enough and you've got the additional port for the 12 volt DC output, then this is what you would use, and you would discard this wire here. So that's the kit itself. Let's have a look at what I've had to buy additionally in order to fit this to my van. So this is what I've had to purchase. I ran out of cable ties, so I bought a pack of those. I've also bought some female spade connectors. I've got a 2 amp inline fuse, and this actual connector here is waterproof. Some additional wire. I had this left over from when I did the video on adding the additional USB point. And also I've gone for these Wago two-way terminals to connect the wires together because I thought these would be better than just trying to crimp off the spade connectors. I'm not really that fond of these things actually, so I've gone for some of them to add my additional wire. So all in all, that's what I've got. Okay, I've got some wire strippers, I've got some crimping tool, and I've got 2 crosshead screwdrivers. I don't know which one I'm going to need, so I brought that 2. I've also got some fabric electrical tape and some standard electrical tape as well, just in case I need either one of those. And in addition to it all, I had a few cable clips lying around that have got an adhesive backing on them, so I'm going to be using those as well. So that's the tools I've got. Okay, so I was just about to start the assembly when I realised that these self-tappers do not secure this plate, but there's nothing else in the kit in order to do that. So I had to go home and I had to drill the holes that were in this plate a little wider and countersink them and put some bolts in and tie them up with nuts. Now, if I hadn't have had them at home, I'd have had to have gone out of my way in order to actually purchase them. Luckily, I had them in. So if you're going to fit it the way I'm going to show you, then I would advise you do this. Also, on the bottom, there was 2 pieces of double-sided tape to secure it. And I'll be honest, they were rubbish. I was very disappointed with them. So I fitted my own, which I also had at home in stock, luckily, in order to fit this. So let's go outside now and I'm going to show you where it's going to go, which is a little tight to say the least. So let's take a look inside the fridge vent area itself. Now to get these off, I put a little screwdriver here. Just lift that up, because sometimes it's stiff. You can probably do it by your fingers, but mine tend to be a bit awkward. So you then pull from this side and then you pull outwards towards you, like so. And that's the fridge vent off. Okay, so as you can see, there's not a lot of room. And we're going to struggle with this, I think. So the actual fan switch, the clips onto that section there, and then underneath under the fins just down there will be where we fit the actual cooling fan. So at the base we've got the connections for the electrical 12 volt, and as you can see it's been conveniently marked as 12 volt, which are these two wires here. So I'm going to get on with showing you how to wire this up, as in how the flow goes for the wiring. So let's do that now. Okay, so now we've set out the way we're going to wire it. The red wire, which is the positive, comes out and goes to the switch here, and then from the switch we take another positive with a 2 amp inline fuse down to, this is representing the 12 volt, down to the 12 volt connection. The black wire, that will have to be extended because it's not long enough, and that comes to the minus terminal at the 12 volt supply. So that's how it wires up. It's quite simple really. So the consumer unit's off, but to be on the safe side I'm going to remove the actual fuse from it now, so that we've got that completely isolated and we know there's no power going to the fridge itself. So we've now wired it in. We've got our switch there. Just down there you can see the fan itself. Now I have to admit this was a damn fiddle. It really was awkward. But I've run the wires this way, down here, away from the burner and the heat. Let's have a look down at the bottom. Okay, so at the bottom here there's the actual connectors. I ended up going buying some three-way Wago connectors, because I obviously had to connect to this cable here and also the main cable itself by cutting it in half, because I don't have any specialist tools to actually change these spades that are in here, which was a shame really, but nonetheless I've tested it as well and it's working fine, so I'm really happy with this. I'm not so much happy with the product, but I'll explain that in a minute. To refit your fridge vents, quite simple. Push in like so, so it slides in behind that little lug, and put it on like so. Make sure it's locked in there, and then just put the catch down and it's good to go. It's solid that now, it's not going to come out, and that's how you do it. It's very simple. Well folks, that was the original Dometic ventilation fan kit. This is expensive, between 100 and 150 quid. It does vary from place to place. I know Prima Leisure, they're selling it for about 140 quid, and I don't know whether that includes P&P, and they may not even have them in stock. I got this from an online Caravan accessory shop, and it came within 2 days, so that was really good. So what do I think of this product? Well, I'll be really honest, for considering all it is basically is a thermal switch and a computer fan. One, it's expensive, and two, it's not very well thought out neither. The plate that attaches at the bottom, I had to adapt it myself in order for it to fit. The plate itself had self-adhesive double-sided tape on, which was really weak and no good, and to be honest this could have been sat on a shelf for 10 years for all I know, but it was very poor, so I had to use my own. Luckily I had some left over from when I'd done a couple of jobs at home. The wiring in my case was generous, or just enough shall we say, because I only have a small fridge. I know when Rob from Rob's Wise Ways did his, he had to extend the wiring. I didn't need to do that. In fact, the negative cable was actually quite long, and I had to tuck it away, fold it up and tuck it away. Now, as regards to fitting the fan, that was a nightmare. it really was difficult. There's not a lot of room because of the way Swift have put the fridge vents and the way the fridge fits behind the actual cabinetry. It was a nightmare. It took me best part of half an hour and a lot of cussing and swearing to get it to actually go in. But once I got it in and fitted it, it stayed where it is. Now, regards to the actual overall product, it's going to take you a good 2 to 3 hours to do this, even though it is really, in all intents and purposes, a simple job. Now, I would recommend these Wago clips, these connectors. I think these are a brilliant idea. I bought mine from Wix. They were £7 for the 2 ways, and you got 16, and they were £7 again for the 12 3 ways. So yeah, like them a lot. They're really simple, easy to use, and it's even handy if you don't have a crimping tool. I mean, I have a crimping tool and I'm rubbish with it, to be honest. I'd rather use these. Now, my inline fuses, I bought them on Amazon in a pack with a pack of fuses of various ampage. Obviously we need the 2 amp for this. So I'll leave links to those so you can check them out yourself. But all in all, I'm hoping that this is going to do the job when we go away to Holland and Spain, and hopefully if we get some good weather in England. Well, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you'll join us again real soon. But in the meantime, bye for now.